up, guys? It's Steve here. Bringing y'all some new deck profile that I just finally finished completing. Sky Strikers, as you can see. So let's get right to the profile. I haven't really played the deck like that. I played it online, but never really played it in real life. So yeah, let's get into the profile and what cards I chose. So Ray, you play this at 3. This is the main monster. The one you need. This is the whole lifeblood of the deck. Without this card, you can't even see your Sky Striker Engage that we just got back. Before Engage, I was not gonna play this deck because like I didn't know how to play the deck with the Engage, so trying to play without the Engage would be even worse. But I had always kept an eye on the deck and how it plays and match up against fair against other matchups, and it is a pretty good deck still. Definitely still viable. I never really said the Sky Striker was dead. I just said I just didn't want to play it without the Engage because I want to get that extra draw, the free advantage. So yeah, Ray, normal summon. She has the quick effect if your Sky Striker Link monsters are destroyed, she can special summon herself back from the graveyard. And she's the quick effect that she could tribute herself to summon special summon a Link. So yeah, she's the best monster. Then you play one Rose because you play her in Terraform, but Reinforcement of the Army because they are both warriors. So she says she can special summon herself if a Sky Striker monster is special summoned from the hand, and if your opponent have an extra deck monster in the extra monster zone column leaves the field due to your card, one of your cards, she can special summon herself from the graveyard. So she's a really good card. There's another name, but I only played those. I do have a second Rose. I just don't see the need for it, and I'll tell you what card I cut. Cause I think I have it, yeah, towards the end, second card from the end. So yeah, show you the card I cut for it. For hand traps, Sky Striker is like one of the decks, since it's a roll deck now. Used to be meta, it requires a lot of hand traps. And I'm not sure if the Sky Striker build beforehand. Let me know in the comments. Did they play a lot of hand traps like this? Like the amount that I'm playing, I don't even play the amount that most people play. I played like one less hand trap than everybody else. So I got the Bells, I got the Ashes at 3. And this is like, you rarely see decks playing these cards at 3. They usually play like 2 of them, from my perspective, because they like hard ones per turns. But for the Sky Striker deck, it really don't matter. So you got those hand traps, and then I got these Skull and Veilers. Those are the only monster hand traps that I play in my deck. I didn't see no other hand trap that I really want to play in. All the other hand traps are sided, so Veiler. This help you is more important because it help you get into with Selene, your access code talker. Everybody should know about that because that's how Sky Strikers usually win the game. Now let's get to the engine. You got 3 of the Will Anchors because this card is back to 3. I think it came back to 3 like a couple lists, ban lists ago. But yeah, this card was mandatory. I think it was like at 1. But since they took the Engage from us, they gave us this back at full capacity. So you get, everybody should be playing this at 3. Then you got the 2 field spells, and you got the Shark Cannon. So the field spells, you can summon Ray off of them, and the Shark Cannons, you can even summon monsters from the grave. Like you get rid of some of the big monsters, you can use that to help them kill them, or get more damage on the board. And then you can link it off into Ace. It's not, I think it's Ace. Not really sure. Zeke. Yeah, Zeke, that's it. Yeah, so you could pop this with your own card, like MST or something, to get the prompt effect, allow you to get a Ray from the deck. So you play 2 of these. The one you play the multi-roll, because it gets your resources back. The Engage, because it just came off the list. I do play this card because I like to have versatility in my deck, and this card doesn't target. So I have a card that target destruction, and I have a card that doesn't do any target destruction, but it helps me out cards. So if I have any type of problematic card or a card that I'm worried about, I can have cards to out those cards. And I'll try to make sure I have 3 spells in grave, so I always get the second effect on your Sky Striker cards. But if you don't have the 3 cards in grave, you're not using your deck to the best potential, because now you're only getting 1 effect as if you would have had 2 effects, or say you gain yourself card advantage and now your opponent card advantage, or you now your opponent card 2 different resources off of 1 card effect. by popping a spell and a monster. And the other one I play Afterburner, the Hornet Drone, Self-Explanatory. And I do play the one Eagle Booster since a lot of people are playing Sky Striker again. This card is really good in the mirror match and really need this card in the deck. And also on top of that, a lot of people hit your links because they don't want you to get your engage back or they don't want you to sit in it at all. So you need to protect your cards by all means so you guarantee a way to get to your resources. The people play Imperm. I don't play Imperm. I play Chalice because Chalice is a card that don't require you to have no cards on the field. I understand it doesn't stop back row, but that's why I have cards that hit back row in my deck that are searchable. And instead of having to worry about trying to use a card that may come up or effect that may come up. But most of the people use their Imperm on their first turn. And a lot of times you get the same result because a lot of decks now, they do things on your turn now. Like Prank Kids, they summon on your turn. Shaddoll, they summon on your turn. You know, there's other decks out here that do similar things. So you don't really want to Imperm them on their turn. Like Tri Brigade as well. They summon the Shrag on your turn. So this card is less broken because you could normal summon something and still stop their card effects. Also, on top of that is a spell, so it helps with your account. It helps weaken your opponent monsters. Even though it gains their attack, but they negates their effect. But you're only getting 400 attack. I play 2 Pot of Desires because I don't want to draw to the third one if I activate one. I have activated one and drew into the second copy, which is kind of upsetting, but it happens. So, yeah, this is the last card you played, really, 2. Everything else is one-offs. So I play 1 Raigeki because I destroy all monsters. And, like, a lot of decks with something like Appaloosa, things that might protect you from, like, back row. Not back row, but monster effects or spell effects, most likely, 90% of the time. Something that could at least negate them. So I want to have multiple means of out monsters, and I want to just out one monster sometimes. I want to out multiple, and you just blow your opponent board away. They probably may keep one monster depending on what card it is, but it's really good to get rid of all the extra stuff, or just bait cards like Dingirsu, their protection effects. That way I can actually do what I want to do to them. Raigeki's a good card. I don't see why people wouldn't play this card. I don't have Lightning Storm, so I supplement this for Lightning Storm. But Sky Striker have a lot of cards to out monsters anyway. You got the Terraforming, you got the Upstart, and I do play the Foolish Burial Goods, and that's because I play the Manifold Fusion, because you send cards a lot, like off your field spell, and your multi-roam, and your multi-roam stop your opponent from responding to all your cards. So any spell you activate, they cannot respond to. And then for you to just send this off of that and then be able to draw is too good to not play, in my opinion. And that's why I play a Foolish Burial Goods, just in case I need something extra. Like I said, I need my Hayate to send a Ray, because I only open up the Hornet Drone. I can still have this card to send my Engage or something else. So it's kind of like versatility over just playing cards that you know that's either do just one thing. I need my cards to do multiple things. So I played the Harpy Feather Duster in the main for back row as well. And I played the Rota, and I play the card that protects you from hand traps. So this is my secondary Eagle Booster. Some people play 2, I play 1, and I play one of these. Or you can play 2 and then play one of these. So yeah, that's it for the main. Let's get to the extra. The extra is definitely standard. You play 3 of the Suzuku. Self-explanatory searches in the end phase for whatever card, Sky Striker name you don't have in graveyard. 3 in Kagura's because it's much needed. You help get cards and help in the grand game, get your Engage back from the graveyard. Then I played 2 Hayates because I played the Foolish Burial Goods in here as well. So I didn't really didn't need the 3rd copy. A lot of people don't play the 3rd copy, so I just played 2. Then you play 2 of the Kainas because it's just there for if you need to gain life points or something, or beat your opponent by life points. Or you need another name. Ziki, because it's a card you can make with two monsters and a Sky Striker monster. So, and it banishes. On top of that, this card helps you get into Access Code Talker because you go into Selene. And Celine bring back the what's name? You go to Access Code Talker. And I play the Nigursu to out anything that can't be targeted or destroyed. For side, I play the Metaverse because just like how decks, a lot of the good decks type of things on your opponent's turn, I want to be able to have access to Mystic Mind on my opponent's turn. That way I can at least try to bait one of their back row removal with this card and then just chain it to it. So now they have one less card for back row removal, and I just activate my Mystic Mind and I sit on it for just a couple turns. Me, I don't like to win like that. So me, I usually get rid of it, but don't be trying to just play for other people's sake. If you need it to sit on it, just sit on it. Because if they had the opportunity to sit on it and win the game, they would sit on it and win the game over you. So don't let people just try to use their salty feelings to try to control how you should play the game. Play MST. I had the secrets, but I didn't really feel like looking for them. But they do the same thing regardless of the rarity. You can pop your own field spell, get access to array. I only play for 3 raid in 1 row, so it is kind of more better to have this. And also, you have no requirements to use this. So you play a Sky Striker and your opponent goes first, they're going to most likely try to set their back row removal, or they're going to wait for your turn to do it. But a good player is not going to do that, because if they know you're a good Sky Striker player, they're going to know that you're going to probably OTK them, and they're not going to allow that to happen. So they're going to probably set their back row. They can just out it and play. I play DD Crow for the mirror match, or decks that require cards to engrave to do combos and stuff, and you just get rid of the card and all together. That's why I don't play Cosmic, because DD Crow can hit anything from the grave. So if I pop a card and you save my DD Crow just to get rid of the card, so I won't have to use Cosmic and pay 1,000 life points, or take out more space for a card that does the same thing but with more restrictions or requirements that hinder me. I play 3 Nibs because it's a Sky Striker and you need to stop your opponent from summoning a whole bunch of monsters and killing you. So Nibiru is a 3k beater, allows you to help kill your opponent too as well. And I play the Lancia because a lot of decks either banish cards or you get hit with evenly matched. So you need something to stop your opponent from wiping your entire board. I play Twin Twister because some heavy back row decks and the mirror match this card is godly, because you can pitch a spell, then it give you another spell to destroy your opponent's spells. It's kind of crazy. Then I played Hercules base for the grand game, because a lot of people don't play this and they'll burn themselves out of links. I have seen it numerous times, burn their links. So you just use this, put this in, it's 1 card, and you just shuffle back up to 3 Sky Striker names. And the last card on the side is Mystic Mind. I only play 2 Mystic Minds. I don't need 3. I got Terraforming and Metaverse, so I didn't see no point in playing the 3rd copy. I think this is a kind of solid Sky Striker build. Let me know if different cards y'all would play in the deck, or let me know about y'all experiences playing the Sky Striker deck. And let me know if y'all think this is a pretty good list compared to like the old list. I know people, they change their list based on the meta, but I feel like Sky Striker always been good against almost every deck, because it plays basically off of a game mechanic, which is the spells. And spells is, if not, some of the most powerful things behind monsters. Traps are powerful too, but they're just a little bit slower. But spells are like they're fast, just as fast as monsters, and they do about just as much as monsters do. So that's why Sky Strikers is pretty much a good deck. So let me know about y'all, what y'all feel, and what y'all think would be better cards in the list in the comment section. Like, subscribe, stay tuned. I'm having my Tri Brigade list up. I didn't really want to update it soon, because that's a deck I've been taking to locals, and I didn't really want people knowing exactly what cards I play, because I like to play different cards in my deck. All right, y'all have a good, stay safe.